Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. Yes, I know. We're looking a little bit off tonight, aren't we? And we haven't even had any wine or any beer or anything else, but we just thought it's the festive season, and I've always wanted to be a Cinderella and a princess, so here I am. But yeah, we're silly on a Monday night on our tilt, but isn't that what it's all about? Adding some laughter to it too. And I've got these black things going on my face, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to get rid of these effects. It's the first time I've ever used it, so sorry. Yeah. Uh, we do have a couple of authentic Santas down there that were wearing hats. Bless their hearts. I couldn't seem to find our hats. They're locked up somewhere, and so I took the princess hat, but yeah, we wanted to do something a little bit different tonight and just have some laughs. We were going to finish up. Last week we did the hangout on procrastination, which I am tremendously guilty of. And if you remember, we had some awesome lessons learned from everybody else on the panel. Erica wasn't able to join us last week, but the rest of the girls just kicked it right out of the park. So I'm urging you that if you are having trouble with procrastination, do not beat up on yourself. Do not feel guilty, but go listen to that hangout, because those golden nuggets that these girls dropped will straighten you up in no time. It was, to me, in my opinion, one of the best hangouts we had ever had as far as advising and helping you. So go take a look at it. Now, I'm just going to run it by the girls tonight and ask them if they have anything to add to procrastination before we move on. I don't, because I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. So, like, I left this experiment with the hat like 30 seconds before we went on the air, and now I couldn't get rid of it, and I can't get rid of the black marks and everything else. So, um, but listen, I could do something like this. Let me see
We don't
here.
see any black dots.
What's that? Oh,
We
you
don't see
don't?
any black dots.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now there, that's maybe more natty. So, but okay, who would like to just finish up with our procrastination? I know Kristen didn't get a chance to talk last week, and the one thing that she was going to mention was if you talk procrastination, then you're going to act it. In other words, if you say, oh, this is going to be so hard, it's going to be so difficult, then it's going to be hard. It's if you say, this is going to take me forever to get this done, it is going to take you forever. If you say, I think I can take this project and really learn from it, and I'm excited about digging in and trying to learn how to do something, it changes the whole demeanor. That suddenly the procrastination has been taken out of the equation, and you are now on a roll to get in there and dig and experiment and get it all done. So I know that was one thing that which was brilliant. She wanted to talk about the fact that, if you talk it, you're going to walk it. So stop talking that procrastination. Stop telling everybody how hard it is, how difficult it is, how you can't do it, because you can do it. Okay? All right. Anybody else got something to add?
Nettie, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Zen. Yes.
I think she also mentioned. Ooh, I'm hearing reverb, but I guess that's just me.
Yeah, it is just you.
Okay, I'll deal with it. I think she also mentioned walking around saying that I'm a procrastinator actually makes you more at the effect of procrastination, because you're identifying with being a procrastinator. So, and remember, Nettie, your subconscious is always listening. So if you keep saying I'm a procrastinator, then you're a procrastinator. And I have a little black dot floating around too, so I'm going to put it like a little beauty mark right above my lip there. I don't know if anybody else can see it. I can.
No, we can't see it. Like Erica said, we can't. So.
Oh, okay. It's weird, this whole setup. But nonetheless, the procrastination thing, she's absolutely right, because when you identify with any way of being, It's like walking around saying, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that. Of course, if you walk around saying things like, I'm rich, and you know in your conscious mind that you are not, that will not be perceived as an affirmation by your subconscious. So be very careful what it is you actually say out loud. But procrastination is one of those things that is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. So if you say, I'm a procrastinator, your mind tends to hear, yes, I'm a procrastinator, and it puts off things that you know that you want to do. So you can start by saying, actually, for procrastinators, my suggestion would be to chunk down whatever it is that you're procrastinating about. Take the bigger project at hand and then chunk down little pieces of it so that you know what you have to deal with first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And that way you can have things to check off on your things to do list or on your Google Sheets, which I went over last week. You actually have little pieces that you can make an X next to. And there's something satisfying about checking things off of your list, whether it's on Google Sheets and you see it daily and you just, I don't take them out. I just put an X next to it so I can see what's been done and how my week is playing out. And then I just make a copy of the sheet for next week and fill it in so that I can actually go back and look at last week and see what I actually accomplished. Because there are days when we all know that we act on things and we don't complete it. And so we have a tendency to go, well, I didn't complete that whole project. But if you go back and look at the whole week, you see where you scheduled your chunks of time and that you actually did do it, what you set out to do when you chunk it down. When the project's complete, of course, you want to do a little celebration because any win is a real win, right? So, that's just my two on procrastination and saying it out loud about how I am a procrastinator. Because there are actively things that we all procrastinate, sort of, about. We put it off. I myself, when I procrastinate about something too much, I take a look at it and say, what is it about this that I just definitely don't like? And who can I get to do it that's passionate about that particular thing? Because I clearly don't want to get to it. And that's if it's on my list for too long and I just don't get to it. It's one thing if I have already enough on my plate where I need to push it or chunk it down and put it into different days. But if I put it on my list of things to do or that Google sheet and it keeps moving from week to week, there's something about that particular thing that I really just don't want to do. And that's when I take a look at it after about if it gets shifted for more than 2 weeks, I take a look at it and I go, okay, I've chunked this down. What is it about this that I have resistance about or just don't want to do? And then I figure out who I can maybe outsource it to or figure out how to chunk it down further or decide, is this a project I actually want to work on right now? Maybe it's a better time a little later and I should work on this right now. So it just depends on where you're at with things and how you want to assess where you're at with your business or in your personal life as well. These things can come up there too. So there's my two, and I'll pass it back to you, Nettie.
Nailed it, Zen. You did. And I agree.
Love the grad hat.
If I I was trying to watch you, and I was watching Morgan down there go, and to see if the hat was following her. But I agree with you. If I call myself a procrastinator, hey, guess what? I'm going to wear it. So very good advice to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anybody else got anything to add before we kind of move on? No? Shirley?
I've just got one quick thing, if I may, just on procrastination. I was actually, may I?
Yes, you may.
I was actually guilty of this myself. When the subject came up, it was just hilarious that I couldn't talk that night. But I did a quick video on it on Facebook, and what I realized the thing with procrastination is the agony and anxiety of procrastinating over that thing is not worth the negative energy that you spend. I gave the example. In September, I was given the horrible job of, preparing all of our, tax accounts, right, and itemizing everything out. I hate that thing, right? And the girl had given me a deadline of December 22. So instead of just opening up the file and getting the thing done, when I got the email, every morning I woke up feeling sick about this thing, sick about this thing, sick about this thing, to the point where I nearly pretended like I'm not going to do this thing, right? In the back of my mind, I knew that this thing had a deadline of a 2 in it, right? And I knew it wasn't December 2. So here I am, finally, December 12th. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get this thing done. And it just absolutely consumed me. Like I just felt this big pool of dread in my stomach, right? I said, okay, that's it. That's it. I've just got to do it. Do you know what? I opened up that file. I did that thing in 2 hours. And at the end of it, I'm like, what? What? I just wasted 3 months of negative energy agonizing over this thing. Wouldn't it have just been easier to just do the thing? So I watched last week's Hangout, and you guys nailed so many things for me. So you guys have helped me cure my procrastination over doing the things I don't want to do. See, here's the thing about procrastination. We're just putting off what we imagine a pain to be, right? At the end of the day, we just need to suck it up and go, hey, this thing has to be done. Better get it done and out of the way than putting it off, because that wasted energy is just not worth it. And that's all I wanted to share. So back to you, Nettie.
Brilliant. And it's so true what you said, too, because I'm actually working on something with ClickFunnels right now, and I've been putting it off and putting it off because it's new and it fears us. And I've been dreading it because, well, you just know that you're going to have to learn it. And but it's not that bad, you know. So I agree with you, Erica. We're afraid to get out there and do it. And that's crazy. I mean, how have we gotten through life? If we were afraid of anything, we'd be living in a house and not going outside. So, anybody else got anything to add?
I can totally relate with what Erica was saying. Like, it doesn't even have to be something as big as the tax, or doing something like that with your business. It can be something little, like sending an email to your list. If you set a goal of sending it before 9 a.m. and things get on top of you and you lose track of time, and it's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you do start to procrastinate, and it puts you in a bad mood. And then I'm thinking to myself, why am I feeling like this? Why am I, not enjoying my afternoon? And it's because I have put off something that's going to take me 15 minutes to do. So, the negative energy thing, it really is not, it's just not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. So, yeah, that was a really good point, Erica. And there was just a little quote that I just popped into my mind, and I'm just going to, what is it? It's just as hard to change good habits as it is to change bad habits. And I thought about that, and that's so true. Like, if you're in a really, really good habit of, exercising or eating well, and it kind of consumes you, and that's the person that you are, it's really hard to break that. If you don't exercise or eat healthy, you feel sick, and it's not a habit that you want to break. And it's exactly the same with bad habits. So if you have a habit of procrastinating, instead of if you have the habit of, when something comes in, putting it to the side, making a massive pile, and just looking at it and thinking, maybe I'll do that next week, that could be considered to be a bad habit. So it's just as easy to create a really, really good habit and stick to that. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say on that. Just, yeah.
Good for you. And yes, adding to it, brilliant. Just instilling it into us even more. And by using something as simple as getting an email out to your list. I mean, we talk about big projects that we're, don't want to get started, that we procrastinate on, like you just mentioned, an email to your list that take 5 minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I throw something in there? Just to elaborate on Erica's point, which is a very good one and a very valid one. Years ago, I think you all know, I think I told you this story about how I used to cold call out of a phone book, and I'm just giggling over Morgan's hat and background. That's hilarious. But I used to cold call out of a phone book. Okay, so this was not my most pleasant time of the day. So what I started doing was putting it off until later and later in the morning, and then it would build up where I really didn't want to do it at all. So I thought of, somehow I came up with exactly what Erica's point was, and I thought, you know what, just get it off the table. If you hate it so much, get it off the table. And I started going in and just started dialing right away. And then by 10 o'clock, I'm like, you know what, why was I always hating that so much? I actually had a couple of really good conversations with people. I'm fine. What was that about? It's this buildup in your head that it's so much bigger than it actually is, whatever that chunk down project is. Which I'm next it. If I don't even know what the timing is for it, like let's say I need to do something that I haven't done before and I chunk it down and I say, this is going to take 2 hours. Often it's 15 minutes or a half an hour once I get into it. But it's just the idea of, okay, I've got to chunk aside 2 hours of time. So like Erica said, especially if it sounds unpleasant, like taxes or something that you really just, you go, oh, really? I got to do this? Well, if you just delve into it and take a look at what the project actually entails, sometimes you can just kick it out in an hour or two and not really have to think that hard about it. You've been giving a whole lot of thought process to it and doing, what do they call that? Mental, yeah, we won't say, but doing that. So why bother doing that when you can just kick it out of the park and get it done, and that way you can move on to whatever it is that pleases you to do. So I'll leave it right there, and I'll go back to giggling at Morgan.
I am too. Just to add to that, I want to say about procrastination with, just go and do it. Another area where we all procrastinate in is making decisions. And a lot of people out there cannot do it. They procrastinate on a decision for whatever 100 zillion reasons they have in their head. They just can't go and do it. The risk is too big to them. And just like Zen said, and Erica and Morgan, to get the project done, the same goes with a decision. If your gut is saying, yeah, I think so, then just go do it. Don't give that negative gut a chance to step in and talk you out of it, because that could be the very thing that you need to be doing at that moment in time. So remember that when it comes to decisions too. Shirley, did you have anything to add, or did you want to add anything before?
Yeah, you guys all talking about it made me think back to when, like last week, when Morgan was talking about when you love what you do, then you won't ever, really deal with procrastination. I think that's true because, and I want to kind of spin a different angle with this. I've talked a lot about why I went into online marketing, but one of the things was I tried being in an MLM before, calling leads, and I hated it so much. And I had this huge thing that I needed to call all my leads all day long, and I'd procrastinate about it and procrastinate about it. And then all of a sudden I just decided that if I don't love what I do, then I need to be finding something else. And that's when I found online marketing. So I did find a blog post tonight on this very topic. It was by Marie Forleo. And she talks about, I would play the video for you, but it's about 4 minutes long, so I don't want to take up too much time. But she talks about, let me just click on the link here. She talks about procrastination, when procrastination is a good thing. And it's a good thing when it's really not procrastination at all. It's your intuition telling you that what you're doing is not good. So if you keep pushing something off, if it's an autoresponder or setting up your blog, then yes, it's procrastination. But if it's procrastinating on something big, it may just be intuition telling you that this is bad. Don't do this. Like, don't go down that road. And so I'll put down the link to Marie Forleo's blog post in the comments, and you guys can check out the video. But she really went on to say that when you, and I think this is kind of where I want to end it, that when you're looking at all the resolutions that you want to have for 2016, what are you going to start saying no to, right? What are you going to let go of? Because when you do that and you focus on the one thing that you need to get done, that will also help you get the most important stuff done. Like if you have a ton of stuff to do and you can't get them done because there's so much stuff and you feel like you're procrastinating, well, maybe it's just because you got too much stuff in your to-do list that isn't really that important, and you just need to let go of it and focus on the few things that are important that you have to stop procrastinating on and just do those things. Yeah, so that's pretty much all that she went on to say. Sometimes procrastination is just intuition telling you that what you're doing is bad. Like, get rid of it, right? That's definitely what I was feeling when I was doing those dials. It is not a way that I wanted to have a business, right? Last thing that I want to say is I found another video today by a 10-year-old girl, And I think I am going to screen share this and just let you watch it. It's only like a minute long, but it shows you the power and the exhilaration that you feel when you finally stop giving into fear. You stop procrastinating and you just go do that thing that scares you, that thing that makes you shake in your shoes, that thing that you're freaked out about. And so I'm just going to quickly screen share and show you guys the video because it was just phenomenal. So if you can't hear it, just let me know and I'll try to do something different. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to play it. If you guys can't hear it, just speak up.
Shirley, you might need to unplug your headphones.
Oh, you guys can't hear it?
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry. I will do that. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to start it over.
It'll be fine.
Good, good.
It's good? Okay. So anyway, just to before the video starts, this girl's going down a ski jump and she's really scared. She's 10 years old and it's just, I'm just going to start play now.
Well, here goes something, I guess. I can do this. I'm gonna jump.
You got it.
Whoa, my ski's slipping off.
Just remember, never snowplow, okay?
No snow house.
Keep it straight, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Keep going the 20.
Straight. Do you go faster on the end run?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Is it any steeper, do you think? Not much.
Same steepness.
Just longer. Just longer. Just a bigger 20, that's all.
Yep. Have
It's a
fun.
bigger 20. Go ahead. You got this. I got it. It's fine. You'll be fine. Okay. Here. The longer you wait, you'll be more scared. Go.
All right, so that was the end of the video.
I'll do it.
I'm going to, oh, it's playing again. Sorry. I'll get back to the stop screen sharing. And basically the point of that story was you could hear her friend beside her saying, don't cry, don't cry. The longer you put this off, the more scared you're going to be. Just go do it, go do it. And she was so scared and she was crying. And then you heard her as she was going down the hill and she started screaming and it felt so awesome. That's how you're going to feel when you overcome your procrastination. You're going to feel like that 10-year-old girl who just conquered her hugest fear and who you could hear her talking herself through it, right? That's what you got to do. So I'm just going to close with that video, and I'll put that video in the comments as well if you guys need to be encouraged in the next few weeks as you're preparing for 2016. Just watch that video again and just get motivated, because if she can do it, you guys can do it. Love it.
You can learn from kids, right? Kids and animals, boy, they can teach us some really hot topic lessons. And speaking of that, I'm going to do a little something about my child tonight. You know, I think we've talked about procrastination, and as some of you may know, my son and my two grandsons, they're traveling the world right now. He's doing this alone. He lost his wife 7 years ago on Christmas Day, and he's been taking the boys. He started out in Costa Rica and then on to Australia, did a lot of that up the Gold Coast, and then on to Cambodia and Thailand and Burma and Vietnam, and actually right now they're in New Zealand. They're spending that at Christmas over there. They're going to be there for 3 months. But This was the dream that he and Jane had, that when the boys got to a certain age, they were going to take them on around the world for a year. And because she had done that when she was 10 with her parents, they had done the same thing. So she had the travel bug, and Jason's always had the travel bug. So this was going to be what they did together. And it didn't turn out that way to be. But he wrote something a few days ago, and I really want to share it because it's about loving what you do. And this can be true with your business and true with your life. And I just think at this time of year, when people are looking at hopes and dreams for next year, always, always keep those hopes and dreams alive. And so I'm just going to read this right now for you. It's not very long, so just bear with me. He's saying this. He said, I remember when it first hit, maybe even all three of us at the same time, that we were doing something special, and that, in fact, we were extremely lucky to be where we were. It was October, and we were in Otras Beach, Cambodia. It's right on the coast of the Gulf of Thailand. I had been doing some research and read that bioluminescent plankton were visible off the coast. However, for them to really appear, it had to be dark, and the moon couldn't be bright. I was keen to find them, and so were the boys. I wrote a friend that I was hoping it would be something like from the movie, The Life of Pi, but in reality was expecting much less. The first night we wanted to see them, the moon was crazy bright, so I bailed. But the second evening, the conditions were perfect. It was overcast, and the moon and stars couldn't be seen. We set off down the beach around 9. After walking for about a kilometer past all the beachside restaurants, we finally found a location that seemed perfect. This was our spot. What I hadn't appreciated earlier was how dark it would actually be. It was black, and the only things that were visible were the lights from the restaurants lining the beach, way off in the distance. We carefully waded into the water, Max and I first. Sully felt he should stay on the beach, just in case. Right, just in case of what? I have no idea, but that's where he felt comfortable. Eventually, Max and I got out to a spot that was up to his chest and up to my waist. We could hear Sully on the beach asking where we were. On the other side of the Gulf, most of Thailand could probably hear him too. I asked him to turn it down a notch. Then we shook and stirred up the water with our hands, and the plankton appeared. Much like fireflies randomly appearing in the sky, plankton appeared in the ocean. Nothing like The Life of Pi, but it didn't matter. Max and I were excited. We managed to convince Mr. Just in Case to come and join us, to see for himself. He arrived and saw what we saw. It was incredible, and although it didn't meet my expectations, it was like nothing I had ever seen before. I stopped for a moment and listened to the boys stir up their surroundings, searching, and at that same time, as the thought materialized in my head, Sully verbalized it for me. He said, "Wow, Dad, we're really doing this. We're really experiencing everything we can. This is amazing." And it was. We were in the middle of complete darkness, up to our respective waist and chest in an ocean where we had no idea what was surrounding us. No one knew where we were. It was just the three of us, we three. And in that very moment, it occurred to me how absolutely special all of what we had done and what we are still planning on accomplishing really is. It wasn't a turning point or anything like that, but a realization to remember to soak it all in and do what you most want to, just in case. I thought that was beautifully written because I think it tells us all that live as much as you can, live for the day. Seize the moment, go out there and do what it is that you've had in a dream, what you wanted to do with your life. We've all had those. We've all had those moments where we think, someday I'm going to do this. Start doing it. Start planning it. Don't be fearful of that. Walk into the dark of night, into the water, up to your waist, and just enjoy it. I mean, nobody knew where they were, and it was so dark. How amazing is that? So, I'm so proud of him. He's so lucky. Not everybody can do what he's doing, but he planned it. It's not like he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, because he wasn't. But he had to give up something in order to get where he was too. And I want to take a minute now and talk about Christmas. I've had a lot of Christmases, 66 to be exact. Well, almost 66. But when I was growing up, I had a lot of amazing memories of Christmas, a lot of really good memories. And then I went on to get married, and I've had a lot of ugly Christmases. But when you have somebody in the family that drinks, then that can take the fun out of Christmas very easily. And so, yeah, I don't, but for my children's sake, they had a lot of beautiful Christmases too. And then I met Sam, and the magic of Christmas came back into my life until 2008, on Christmas Day, when Jason's wife Jane passed of metastasized breast cancer. And from that Christmas on, it's been always there for us. We always, when I think of Christmas, I think of Jane now. I spend a lot of time thinking of the reason for the season, Jesus' birth, but it's always got that Debbie Downer thing to it. Not because she died, but because of, well, yes, I mean, I did feel that, but because also of what got left behind, and how they are coping, and how they are trying to get through life without her, and how that one special day of Christmas is such a tainted, has such a gray cast on it for them. And every Christmas, the rest of the family, our wish for Jason at Christmas was that, he could move on. But up until last year, he spent every Christmas by himself. He just couldn't. That was the day that he lost the love of his life, and he just could not enjoy going and be sociable with the rest of the family. And it was easy for other people to say, can he move on? Like, he should get going. And no, you can never tell anybody how to move on and how to get rid of grief. And so last Christmas was the first Christmas that he actually came over to, we were in Canada for Christmas. He actually came over for just a really, really short period of time. And the boys had so much fun and whatnot. But, it was a start. We thought, okay, this is great. Well, as I said to you earlier, he's been traveling. And he wrote something in this same blog that I just wrote to you. And I'm going to tell you, it made my Christmas. It could not be a better Christmas for me, because all we ever want for our children or our animals is to be loved and to be happy and have no pain in their life and everything else. So again, if you will just appease me, I just want to take a brief second to read this, because again, as dark as your world may seem, or as much as you think that you cannot get going and you can't achieve what it is that you want, you can do it. You can do it. So just bear with me. He wrote this on the blog about, he's been asked a lot of different questions, and one of the questions he got asked was, what have you learned and how have you changed? And he said, this is an interesting one. I know I've chilled a bit, probably more than a bit. The random red rage incidents are almost non-existent. Almost. It wouldn't be any fun if they disappeared entirely. Okay, in the interest of being open throughout this process, I'll be honest and write about something I normally wouldn't. Whoa. Once upon a time, I was in the most amazing relationship ever. It was a dream, the best kind of love, and I never wanted to get out of it. Then life happened, and Jane was taken from me, from us, and it was devastating. Everyone knows that part. And I've gone through the past 7 years not really allowing anyone in, not wanting to deal with everything it takes to make a relationship amazing. I've chickened out or been too particular, too busy, too overwhelmed, too focused on the other thing, too scared, wondering if I'll be 55 and still single. And when we started this trip, a relationship was the absolute last thing on my mind. I wanted to focus on the here and now and be in the moment, exclusively with the boys. I didn't want what I felt was a burden or a distraction. However, as the trip has progressed, the interesting part is I've become fascinated by how people all over and throughout the world meet and connect. How random it all is, how they find their one, whether they live in the same small village or on the other side of the world. I've caught myself thinking about it constantly. Not constantly, but at different moments throughout the trip. Watching couples while walking down the busy rush hour streets of Sydney, wondering how they met, or watching families while trekking through remote villages in Laos and Burma, wondering the same. Slowly I began to peel back my protective layers, break down that invisible barrier, and entertain the idea of having my own amazingness again, of wanting to find someone who makes me feel special, gives me goosebumps and butterflies, and who I can do the same with, who I think about randomly throughout the day, seeing something that makes me think of them or remind me of them, wanting to share the most ridiculous or mundane things with them. That's the good stuff. And if you've already found them, well, then you're one of the lucky ones. Hold on to that. Don't let it go, because that right there is what it's all about. I'm certain that when someone I'm crazy about becomes crazy about me, well, there's no better feeling than that. That's just the bee's knees. So I'm allowing myself to open up again. It's refreshing, and I can't be more excited. So yeah, that's what I've learned and remembered. I'm just over the moon happy, but in this business, that's the way it was for me too. I started out with something in a plan, and then all of a sudden life happens and you go another way and you find another dream. And helping other people is it's amazing. It's amazing. So although he went on this trip to honor Jane, look at what's come out of it. In some ways she's almost released him or somehow got the message. Move on, Jay. Move on. And take the boys with you. So that's my Christmas, and I am freaking happy this year. So, and that's all I want for the rest of you too. And no, I'm not a bloody angel like you're seeing here. But anyways, come on, somebody else step up to the plate now and tell me about their Christmas.
I'll go.
Okay.
Because I actually just posted this video to Facebook, because it's the first time in 17 years I've actually spoken about it, but my father passed away shortly after Christmas 17 years ago, right before my daughter was born. And so I didn't speak on it, but I was equating it to, and of course I took the video in my car. Everybody's expecting videos from the beach or Palm Springs, but I've been so into whoever I've been with that I just don't take time out to make videos. So I was in my car and I thought of it, because one of the things that I was running into talking to friends and just people is that, there's this ebb and flow around this season. And some people get really sad because of the people that they miss or, things like that. And one of the things, and maybe you'll think this is like crazy, but, my father and I were very close. And when he passed away, I was like, geez, wow, I was just blown away. I have this new daughter, but I have this. It was hard. But when it came around to the following December, and he kind of started getting ill around December 1st or 2nd, and I thought, okay, you know what? We can go this path of this is where he first got sick, this is where he really declined, this is where the doctors were saying blah, blah, blah. We could go down all that road. But what would my father really want for me? Would he want me to behave like that? Would he want me to feel that way? And I have a 1-year-old who is just a bundle of joy over here. Would he want that from me? No. I had to really sit and think about it, and the answer was absolutely no. He would want me to rejoice in the season and for my own reason with my new baby and just remember him. So I keep him alive by talking about him and in the best ways possible. So yeah, this is a tough story to even tell now, but I made a video about it because of that. Because yeah, there's a little ebb and flow about it, but the truth is that you have to find the good stuff. Like you said, when you were growing up, Nettie, there was a lot of good times. I had a lot of great times. They ended before I planned on them ending, but that is the stuff of life. And so, you know, I got a new life in that same year. And so I just thought, you know, I could ruin family celebrations for the next 10 years over this. Or we could celebrate the life he led and still talk about him and carry on with the season. And that's how I've chosen to move into the season. And, you know, I found myself telling that story 2 or 3 times for the first time this year because of people talking about, you know, things that they'll miss and people that they'll miss and all that. And whether it's helpful or not, or they'll be able to make kind of a leap like I did, is debatable, but it's not like we ever left him out of the equation. Every time I went, you know, home and we talked about him, yeah, there'd be a couple of tears, a little bit, but it was actually like a celebratory thing. Like I would make like his favorite drink and we'd talk about him a little bit, have a little sob, a little quick drink, and then we'd go, you know what? But he'd really want us to embrace the season and continue on and be happy. That's what he would want. So you have to, you know, maybe it's idolizing the situation, but I truly believe in my heart that that's what I would want for my daughter. If something happened to me during the season and she had to carry on with her life and have children, I would want her to just mention me, just embrace me in her heart and have a great time, because that's what life is for. And that's the end of my Christmas thing. But also, I just wanted to say, you know, we do have this sort of week where we do like a little bit of downtime, but when we were talking about procrastination, I knew I was flying here for 3 weeks, and I knew I would have these moments where I'd get caught up with friends and I wouldn't make videos or I wouldn't write a blog post. So I pre-prepared, and I spent 2 10-hour days writing letters to my list, writing blog posts, catching up on, you know, pre-reading, if you will, for boot camp, and you know, and I'm still reading every day, but I just, sometimes it's only 5 minutes, and catching it as I'm, you know, in between meeting people. But I'm having a lot of fun, and if I didn't pre-prepare like that, I probably would feel some stress. So sometimes if you just go all out, 10 hours, 12 hours, and just do the stuff that you need to do before you get on a plane ride to go enjoy yourself, you can actually allow your business to sort of roll on automated systems. And so I'm feeling pretty good about that, because I look at my own email, I'm on all my lists, and I see them pop up, and I go, you know, you look like you're really actively at home working. That's cool, because I worded them day by day by day as if I were there. That's why they took so long. So that's all I wanted to add about Christmas. So happy rest of the week to you. Enjoy your holiday with your family and friends, and that's it. Happy holidays, and we'll catch you next week.
Well done, Zen, and I think there's a lot of us that can relate to what you just said. My dad passed December 22nd, and I saw Ellie Walsh say her dad passed December 23rd. I don't know what it is about these guys that got to go out with Christmas. I mean, maybe my dad used to like setting the cake on fire, the rum cake, so maybe they're up there having a bonfire with their Christmas cakes. Who knows? But who else would like to add how they're feeling about Christmas and everything?
I don't mind. Well, I just wanted to add to what Zen was saying about just being prepared for the holiday season with your business. I don't know if you guys watched a couple of my videos in the last sort of 2-3 weeks, but one of them was about having that downtime because my babies were sick. And I've never really experienced in a day not being able to have a 5-minute break to be able to write an email. Like, up until now, I've never really experienced that because I've been a lot younger and I've slept for hours a day. But this particular moment, maybe 2 weeks ago now, both of them being sick and just up all day, but then also at night. Like, I was used to putting them down at 7, but they just cried till 9, 10 every single night, and then I was shattered. So that was my first experience of not having even a 5-10 minute break during the day to even go to the toilet or do anything. And it really taught me a lesson. It really taught me a lesson that you need to be just that one step ahead of your business, because you can cause yourself so much stress. Like, if I had had a couple of emails up my sleeve for that period, I could have just scheduled them in 1 minute and I wouldn't have had that stress. And it's the same thing for the holiday period. Like, think about now, by the time you have Christmas and New Year's, you've got sort of a 10-day stretch there where you might be away at the beach, or you might be, seeing your family, and you might not have, I don't want to say motivation, but you might not have that inspiration to really give your list some value. It might sort of be, you're not in the right mindset. You're sort of having fun. You're not going to give them anything that they're really going to, have any value about. So if you can think about it and prepare it beforehand, I think that's really, really, really important, because people, I know for myself, if I'm on people's lists and I don't hear from them for 3-4 days, I don't know, I kind of forget. Well, I don't forget about them, but when I do get the email, I kind of think, oh, there they are, but I don't even open them. But it's the people that I see every single day, sometimes twice a day. I might not open them, but the one that I do open is, that's the point. You need to just be in people's inbox every single day, if not twice a day. Because, I just know for myself, it's just, you do lose touch, and you kind of feel like, when I don't get an email for 3 days from somebody, and I'm guilty of doing this myself, so I'm not trying to get on my high horse and say that, I'm perfect because I do this, I do this. But for myself, if, that consistency, because people do start to think, and I've thought it about other people as well, are they not a real entrepreneur? Are they just trying to do this and just do it half-assed type thing? So, yeah, really, really be prepared over the season, and just do it all in one day. Do what Zen said, do a 10-hour day, and just get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 emails written, and just schedule them. The other thing I wanted to, I don't really have any Christmassy kind of stories like what you guys have talked about, and my eyes are watering, like hearing that stuff about your son Nishi, his family, and your dad. I mean, my dad passed away, it'll be 8 years, it's just been 8 years in November, end of November, so it's close to Christmas, but I don't have any memories about exactly what happened at Christmas. It was kind of all a bit of a blur, but yeah, people lose people. It's just the grief, getting over that and moving forward and that kind of thing. But I can say now, 8 years down the track, I don't know if this is bad or good, but this year I even missed his anniversary, and I don't know what that means, but he died on the 22nd of November, and the day went past, and the next day or the day after, I was like, oh my god, I missed it. And it's been 8 years, and maybe that was just my time. I just had to let it go, and I think about him all the time, but it's not that pain that it once was. So time heals all and that kind of thing. And this year for me, I think, I've always known this, but I think it's just really hit home now, because I've been listening to a bit of Jim Rohn from Erica in the boot camp. She started putting forward some Jim Rohn stuff, and I started listening to it, which was the first time I'd really started getting into him. A few little snippets, and so I started to YouTube him, and I've been listening to heaps of his stuff. And there was this 4-hour seminar that he did, and I'm just glued to my laptop, listening to him for 4 hours one day. And it's just so obvious that you cannot attract success unless you change. Like, coming into this year, 2016, if you are doing the same actions, you're the same mental person as you were last year, you're doing the same stuff, hoping that time will make me get better at my business. No. Yes, time does help, but you have to shift it up. You have to change. You have to become that person that is going to attract that new level of success. And when I say this to people, they're probably thinking, yeah, I know that you have to change. But for me, I knew that as well, but it's only just clicked for me, this year my intention is to, because I know all the technical stuff, like, and all the ladies on the panel do as well, and most of you watching probably have all the technical stuff completely under your belt. You know, you've got a traffic source, you know how to do your blogging, your SEO, you know how to do email marketing, copywriting, videos. It's not difficult stuff once you do it for a few months. You know, it's not difficult stuff, but it's that it doesn't matter how good you are technically. If you're not at the right vibration to attract the certain level of success that you're wanting, it's not going to come to you. It's like you're tuning into a different radio station and you just can't get, you know, you can't get what you're wanting. So for me this year, it's like more about changing into that person that I want to become, you know. And I think for me the way to do that is, you know, spend as much time as I am currently on my business, but cut out the TV, you know, cut out things that are wasting my time, and things that aren't going to earn me money, basically, things that aren't going to improve my mindset so that I can grow my business to the level that I want to be. So I'm planning on like listening to like 3 or 4 times the amount of audio that I currently do, and reading a lot more books, like 2 or 3 books a month, you know, ordering like 10 at a time and just having them sit there and just churn through them and just, you know, soak up all the knowledge. And then by the end of 2016, being confident within myself and saying, you know, I have done every single thing that I could possibly to enhance my mental state and to enhance myself as a successful entrepreneur, so that there's nothing else I could have done basically for that year. That's how I want to feel at the end of the year. And yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to do the same. Just really focus on your mindset, because it's all about whether or not you believe in the law of attraction or whatever. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, it's still going to be there. You know, if you don't understand it, don't worry, it's still working for you. And so work on yourself a lot more. And people say this, work on yourself more than your business, and it's cliche, but it's really, really true. And for me, that's just sunk in a lot in the last week. And it's not just for your business, it's for your own happiness, it's for your own life, it's for your own satisfaction, it's for your family, not just for the business. Like if the business wasn't there, you still want to be happier and more clarity, and you still want to be, you know, lighter and having more joy and having, you know, right timing and just being everywhere at the perfect moment at the perfect time. And you can achieve all that if you just work on yourself, basically. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the coming year. So it's not really Christmassy, but I'm starting to think about it now that it's coming towards the end of the year, because you've always got to be that little step ahead. There's no point coming to the 10th of January and being like, oh crap, better write New Year's resolutions, better start reading those books. Like, be on top of it. You know, make all this happen before Christmas Day. Get your stuff written, get your books bought, get your audios downloaded to your iPod, whatever you need to do so that you are on the road, so that you, when you go on your holiday, you've already got your iPod loaded up with your audios, whatever. Just be organised and just start off running on New Year's Day. So I better let you guys take over, because it's very 5 minutes to 9.
Right on, right on. Shirley, Erica, you want to say a quick? One of you step.
No, I have something. Does Shirley have something or not? Because I do have something to close out on. No? Okay, go. Let's go. I didn't mean good, darling. What I meant was, okay, I'll go. So, Dans, I you know, I don't have any Christmas stories to share, but I do want to get you guys in the headspace for next year. And I was watching Tony Robbins today, and he had this wonderful 30-minute presentation on the 5 keys to thrive in 2016. Well, he didn't say thrive in 2016. I added that, but he was just saying the 5 keys to thrive. But don't you know, when someone says 5 keys, don't you just go, oh, I wonder what they are? And I sat there listening to him talking on, oh, I wonder what the second one is. I wonder what the third one is. And I've written them all down, so I'm going to get them out to you really, really quickly. And I think they're just really, really powerful to take you into 2016. So the first one is take control of your mind. And I love that Morgan brought this up, because he brought up a Jim Rohn quote. He goes, stand guard at the door of your mind. And I'm thrilled that Morgan's not going to be watching TV anymore. I didn't realize anyone still watched TV. But anyway, stand guard at the door of your mind. And he goes, if we are what we eat, we are what we read. I'll repeat that. If we are what we eat, we are what we read. And I'm like, wow, that's just like really powerful stuff. So number 2, feed and strengthen your body. He says, push through your limitations. Your body changes, so does your mind. And it's so true. You know, like when you commit to getting healthy, when you commit to strengthening your body, when you commit to working out, when you commit to taking care of your temple, man, stuff happens up here. You know, sometimes you'll be, you know, working out and you push through something. Like for me, it's push-ups, right? Push-ups are my bugbear, right? I don't like doing them, but I know I've got to do them. And sometimes the trainer will be pushing you to do two more, and your mind's going, but I can't. And then your mind's kind of like, well, what if I could? And then you do it, and you're like that little girl that showed going down the ski slope, like, yeah, I did two more, you know what I mean? So it's really, really powerful to strengthen your body. Number 3, follow a role model who inspires you, okay? You need to believe there's a pathway to follow, and we all need some contrast at times. So basically what he's saying here is, you know, just look up to your role models in the industry that we're in and just believe that if you follow their path, this works, right? Follow a role model who inspires you, okay? Don't be following people who are just like, you know, just throwing trash out all over the internet. They're not worth your time. They're not worth your energy, okay? Follow the people who are making stuff happen. Number 4, and I love this one. I'm like, yeah, we nailed this one. You've got to get a proven plan and take massive action, right? So, of course, here we have the proven plan. We have the blueprint. The only thing that might be missing is the massive action part, right? And I love the fact that Morgan's talking about, you know, really getting into, you know, working on ourselves this year, because it's so true. We have all the keys. We have all the tools. We have all the skills. We have everything here, right? But then the only thing is missing is maybe how we show up here. Okay, so you've got to get a proven plan and take massive action. And number 5, I love this one. I was so curious, what would number 5 be? So number 5 is this: feed and strengthen your spirit. Practice gratitude and abundance. Yay, I love that word. Give to others. Your motive matters. And his last point here was, you're here to give, not just to get. And I thought that was a beautiful way to close it up. So, darlings, those are the 5 keys to prospering and thriving in 2016. Set the wheels in motion now. You know, the worst thing we can ever do is wait until the 1st of January. It's really, really funny. Yesterday was Monday. What's today? I don't know. Today's Tuesday? Oh, it's Tuesday here, so it's Monday where you guys are, right? And this morning I'm kind of thinking, this is the Christmas week, and I looked at hubby and I'm like, do we really have to work out today? And he said to me, well, when would you rather work out? I'm like, next year. And he goes, and how would you feel if you don't work out today? And I said, oh, like crap. And he goes, let's work out. And I'm like, dang, you know, like it would have been so easy to just let myself off this entire week, right? And start next year. That's like sometimes how we approach our business. We want to take a little break at this time of the year or whatever, but like, why not ramp up for 2016 now? Why not get ourselves in the right headspace now? Why not think about that fitness program we want to start now, right? That's all I want to leave you with, darlings. We are at the top of the hour, and I just want to wish you all a very, very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Back to you, Nettie. You're muted, darling. You're muted.
Thanks, Erica. And yes, I'm going to wrap it up quickly because we are at the top of the hour. So just like Erica said, we all from Tilt here, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. I have an announcement to make. Tilt is going to be taking the month of January off, but we will be back in February with a new platform, bigger, better, stronger, and don't miss it, because we're going to be coming out with some things that you are going to love. But we are going to be taking January off, and we want to see you all back here. So you'll see the announcements back in the Facebook and everything when it's time to ramp up again. And in the meantime, while you're not watching us, get busy with your business. Get busy. Don't just sit back and wait for the good things to come to you. You've got to be productive. So on that note, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We love you. Thank you for being with us for all of 2015. And we will see you here, same time, same place, only about 6 weeks down the road. So take care. Look for you then. Bye-bye now.